Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 397. On this week's episode, CB, Alyssa, and I talk about games with bonus content based on movies, but that have pretty much nothing to do with the game itself. In news, Microsoft has delays and Sony announced games lineups for its PlayStation Plus service. New games discussed include Evil Dead and mini Motorways. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 397 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It's Tuesday, May 17th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my friends, Mr. Rona himself, Chris Behrensmeyer. How you doing, man?
That's right. It gives me this wonderful, deep voice.
Yes, unfortunately, Chris has contracted COVID. He told me it was okay to tell y'all, so I'm not just dropping that on you. But
I'm still a little mad, man. After 2.5 years, I finally got hit with it.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, man, and I know you've been feeling rough, and your voice sounds like it's definitely doing a number on you, but I appreciate you still being here, man. That's pretty cool.
Hey, I'm here for the listeners.
There you go. Also joining us, who's looking like she's feeling pretty well, Miss Alyssa White. How you doing, Alyssa?
I am not feeling that great, but I am soldiering through.
Oh, no, you're not feeling good either?
Not really, no.
I'm the only healthy one here. You guys should have told me. I could have just done a monologue podcast all on my own.
Hey, you know what? From here, Alyssa, some virtual love.
Yes, virtual love.
Well, now I feel guilty for feeling healthy, but anyway.
Don't worry, mine's all pretty much mental and lady related, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and talk about the games we've been catching up on. CB, you've been gone for a little while. Why don't you tell us some of the other games you've been catching up on?
Ooh, I've been playing some things, man.
All right.
So let's see. I found a lovely little achievement Hunger game called Hidden Shapes.
Okay, of course.
But Alyssa's going to love this.
Oh, okay.
It's really cheap. And you basically, it's like a... you remember those little plastic puzzles you had when you were a kid, when you like move the things around and it makes like you rearrange the thing to make a picture.
Kind of, I think.
Yeah,
like a little slide puzzle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's one of those, but it's like vector graphics. And so you rearrange them, and there are 80 levels.
Oh my god.
And each level has its own achievement. But the first 40 levels are just random animals.
Oh.
And then the second 40 levels are all cats.
Oh my god. You sold Alyssa on this already.
I'm like, it's all cats. And they're doing things like staring at fish in aquarium. So it's the second half of the game is nothing but cute, adorable internet cats, basically.
So 80 levels, is it still easy achievements? I mean, how long does it take to do?
Oh, yeah. I started it this morning and I finished it in 4 hours.
Oh, wow. All right.
So it's super easy. Majority of the levels will take you like a minute or less.
Oh, okay.
There's a few later on that like you have to spend a little time doing, but instead of like the actual slide puzzle, each little frame has 4 directions that can be. And so you just kind of rearrange them, basically north, south, east, or west.
Gotcha.
And once you get them all aligned, it makes the picture. And it's like, oh, look, congrats, you did the thing.
So is it fun, or is this just a pure achievement game?
It's relaxing, because it has like almost the Tetris effect, like music going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, yeah, I can vibe out to this for a little bit.
All right.
So for achievement hunters out there, it's called Hidden Shapes. It's really cheap. So and then I did that one today. Then I found another Game Pass game to start on, even though I haven't finished Stanley Parable, just because this is another game that has been on my list. Kentucky Route Zero.
Oh,
I've been wanting to play that one as well.
Yeah, I've heard this one's even weirder.
Yo, it's super weird.
Yeah, like good weird.
So I finished the first act today, and yeah, I don't really know what's going on with this one either. Because
I don't know what's going on, and I've read the synopsis and I don't get it.
Man, so like all the interactions have multiple dialogue lines, and it seems like there's so many branching paths for this. Because not only do you have the interactions at like each one of the ones, like each area. But in between each act, you have to get back on the road in your truck, which is basically a 2D view of a map.
Mm-hmm.
And you drive along the highway until you find the next area. And you can miss complete areas because I completely bypassed a scene, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yep, didn't know. Because I was like, why did it go from scene 2 to scene 4?
You just skip scene 3?
Yeah, I was like, what happened to scene 3? Where'd it go?
So is it just like a visual novel type of game?
It is a visual point-and-click novel.
Okay. Are you liking it, though? Because the weirdness is intriguing me.
I'm, you know me, I love the weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm enjoying that. I want to complete this one because I've been going through and it's just so weird. Like, I want to find out what is going on because it's an Annapurna game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I like them, but I'm just, I don't know what it is. I've just fallen down like a weird game hole lately.
Apparently you went from, Elden Ring to Kentucky Route Zero and
Stanley Parable. I'm like,
Stanley Parable, yeah.
I'm like, well, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was on Game Pass. I may have to check that out.
It is. So, but yeah,
when I get caught up.
Yeah. This is the problem with COVID, folks. When you're stuck at home, you start to play weird things.
And play with Legos, apparently.
Hey, leave my Legos alone.
I think the Legos are awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
I keep getting text messages from Chris showing me all the Lego stuff he's built. He's built an Ecto-1. He's built the DeLorean,
an AT-AT.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. There's more.
I believe it.
But I also played another game, which was on Game Pass, Bug Snacks.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that was on Game Pass.
I didn't either, because I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive.
It was. I knew it was coming to Xbox. It was just a timed exclusive, but I didn't realize it was a Game Pass game.
It's a Game Pass game,
okay,
and I think this game is friggin' adorable, man.
Okay, I need to know what it is, because this is the game that Twitter just liked to blast when they announced it for some reason. And I don't know why, because I don't really know what the game... It just looked like a cute platformer. Is it anything more than a cute platformer?
It's not even a platformer, man.
Oh, what is it?
Did you play a Slime Rancher?
A little bit.
Slime Rancher.
Oh, okay, I'm out.
But take Slime Rancher and mix it with Pokemon.
Well, you're in.
Yeah. Dude, this game's adorable.
Pokemon.
But it's weird, because not only do you catch these things, you eat them.
Whoa,
that's why it's called Bug Snacks.
Yeah.
Are they made of food? Or
yeah,
look like they are?
All the little bugs are made of food. Like, before we hopped on, I caught a bug that is a burger.
Bug.
And there's like a giant like centipede looking thing. It's a submarine sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, knock it all you want, but you really need to try this game because it's actually stupidly fun and adorable.
Okay. When I get caught up, I'll definitely play Bug Snacks.
I'm having a blast with it. So I'm just like, yeah, I can get behind this game.
All right.
If anybody's on the fence, man, seriously, just if you have Game Pass, download it, try it. You'll have fun for a little while, but it's not a long-term game. I'll give you that.
Okay, fair enough. Alyssa, how about you? What have you been catching up on?
Well, I was inspired by the trial that is captivating everyone's attention right now. I don't know if I need to say it.
No.
But I have never played her story before, but I've heard amazing things, and I've had it on my cell phone for years now. And I finally decided to play it, and I became hooked and played, I think, for an hour and a half to 2 hours straight. And I don't want to spoil the story for anyone that hasn't played it like I had before this day.
It's a great game to go in blind.
Yeah, they give you about 5 videos to watch, and from there you get keywords that you think will produce results, type them in, and more videos will pop up if they're tied to that keyword, and you're piecing together this mystery.
Isn't the story like you're at a police computer and you're with a search engine, and you pick up words that either the character says or that you see visually in the videos, and then do another search, and it opens up a whole another string of videos, and you just kind of keep going down a rabbit hole?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have not finished it yet. But
it's interesting.
It's very captivating, and the actress, I don't know her name, she's phenomenal in this.
Yeah.
It's just a very simple story. It's on iOS for sure, probably Android as well.
I believe it's on Xbox as well, isn't it?
I think
Chris?
I saw that it's coming to Game Pass. It's either there already or it's soon.
That one is coming,
but it's PC, right?
But it's Telling Lies.
Telling Lies, that's the one.
And man, if you like Her Story, play Telling Lies.
See, I didn't get hooked on Telling Lies as much as I did Her Story.
You need to get a little further into Telling Lies,
Okay.
and it unravels some stuff that you're like, wow.
Okay, I may have to give that one another shot.
And there was also War Games.
I did play War Games, and I actually liked it. I didn't know how it really tracked my eyesight, but I liked it.
Huh, I didn't know it did that.
I'll tell you right now, it really doesn't.
Oh.
Okay, I was thinking, because even though there was a Kinect there, I'm like, is it really paying attention to where I'm looking?
Alyssa, I want to ask you on Her Story, and again, I won't spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything for listeners that haven't played it because it's worth going in blind. But have you discovered the twist yet? Because there's a twist before you actually reach the finale.
I'm pretty sure I saw the clip for the close to the finale before I was supposed to, and then I discovered the twist after that.
Okay, it's a pretty fun twist. I liked it. So
yeah, you can discover parts of the story out of order.
Right.
But yes, I do think the twist is very cool. If it's the same twist that you're thinking about.
Yep. Yeah, I imagine it is. But that was one of the very early games we reviewed on the Gaming Outsider back in the early, double-digit episodes.
I am very far behind.
Yeah. But no, it's good. I love that you're catching up on that. As for me, I am still plugging away at Rogue Legacy 2. I've praised this game up and down for a couple weeks now, so I won't continue to do that too much, but I will tell you that I got to the 5th boss. So I completed 4 bosses, and there are 6 main bosses that open up a final area, which I assume will have a final boss. But I will tell you, that 5th boss is no joke. Man, let me tell you. And I've reached I don't know if I want to say moral quandary, but I've reached I don't know, what do you call it? Game cred quandary. I found out that there is something in the game called, what do they call it? House rules. There are house rules that you can set where you can basically set all the enemies' difficulties, all their HP, how much damage your character does, percentage-wise. So, whatever your normal damage and HP is, it will either multiply or divide it by whatever percentage you get. And did some reading and found out that does not affect the achievements in any way whatsoever. So I'm stuck in this spot where, do I just go through and
do it?
Yeah.
Because the game is giving. I'm guessing it's something that you had to unlock.
No, from the very beginning of the game, you can just use these house rules. They're all available for you. There's a whole article I read about it where the developers were like, "We wanted to make this game accessible to everybody at all playing levels." And it's not like it's a walk in the park. You still have to be able to play the game. But it'd be one thing if I didn't like the game. I absolutely love this game, and the difficulty isn't too difficult for me to get through. I'm just trying to get through the game so I could get on to the next game. So I'm stuck in this quandary of do I just drop down those house rules and make it a little bit easier to play, or do I stick to my guns and enjoy the game the way it's supposed to be played?
Well, I mean, you've come this far.
I know. But anyway, Rogue Legacy 2. I really wish this thing were on Switch and PlayStation so more people
give it
could play
time.
it.
It'll be there.
I hope so. It's gotta be. But also, my Friday night is my Borderlands night with some friends, but one person was not available. So I wound up playing Carcassonne with Joel and Christina. Which, if you guys aren't familiar, Carcassonne is a board game that they turned into a digital version. And man, if ever a board game needed a digital version, this is the perfect one. If you're not familiar with Carcassonne, it is a land development game where everybody gets a tile and you have to connect the tile to the existing tiles to form settlements and take land and set some farmers. And I'm not explaining it very well, but it's a game that takes you a couple rounds to learn. But once you do and see the strategies, it is so much fun. I was worried about recommending it to my group because we needed something to play with only 3 players since we didn't have 4. And I was shocked at how much both of them just absolutely love this game. It's $10 on Xbox. It's an original Xbox 360 title. I don't know if that turns people off. You'll have to boot up into the Xbox 360, what do you call that, operating system. But it's great. Oh, and you'll have to, this is interesting. If you want to play with a friend on an Xbox 360 game that you're not already friends with, you actually have to friend them on Xbox 360 before you can play with them, which I thought was interesting. I mean, it makes sense.
Wow.
I've never had to do that because anybody that I've played online with on 360, I already was friends with. So I was playing with new people that I wasn't, and I had to go add them as friends. You have different friends lists on Xbox 360 and Xbox One and Series X. So anyway, I thought that was fun. I had one other game too. You guys remember a couple weeks ago I told you I bought the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection on Xbox One? And I finally decided to dip my toe into it last night just because I was like, I bought this game, I want to play it. And I only played through the first level, but I just wanted to mention it because if you remember that the original Ninja Gaiden was manageable up until that first boss, and that first boss was such a roadblock, at least for me, back when it first originally released. I played it on Xbox, and I am proud to say that I beat that boss on the first try. I still have not died in Ninja Gaiden, even though I played it like crazy. But the muscle memory is still there for that game, so I am looking forward to going back and seeing how much that game kicks my butt.
I keep telling you, man, the muscle memory is there. You're just too afraid to go back to some games.
Sometimes I mean, especially when it's a hard game like Ninja Gaiden.
Like Ninja Gaiden isn't.
It is hard.
Well, I know, but something like you were like, oh, I'm afraid to go back to Horizon Zero Dawn. It's complex.
Well, it's more about the complexity of the control scheme in that case. Ninja Gaiden is at least, it eases you into it. If I were to go to the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn and try to play that after not remembering how those controls work, I feel like I'd be lost. But
it still blows my mind. You're always like, oh yeah, the first Ninja Gaiden game, and my brain immediately goes to the original Nintendo.
No, I know. I apologize. I'm talking about the 3D version of the game. But the one thing that's really annoying me with this game is I cannot find a way to invert the Y-axis, and that drives me crazy. Which means I must have played that entire game in non-inverted state, which is, the game isn't super reliant on it, but I keep finding myself, just because I've been playing games for so long, that I just keep moving the camera up, and then it gets stuck up there, and I have to manually do it back down, and it's really annoying. I don't understand why there's not an option to invert a camera. I know that game is quite a few years old, but anyway. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. Unless I'm misunderstanding, the game would not let me jump right into Ninja Gaiden 2 or Ninja Gaiden 3. The game booted up directly into Ninja Gaiden 1. Now, when I was in a pause menu, I saw a button that said go back to title screen, and I haven't tried that yet to see. I want to do that when we're done recording here, to go back and see if it actually brings me back and lets me select 1, 2, or 3, because that would be interesting. But I don't know if the game forces you to go through them in order. I know a lot of people like 2 a lot better than 1. I'm not one of them, but interesting nonetheless. All right, that's the games I've been catching up on, that we've all been catching up on. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. New trailer for a Resident Evil movie coming to Netflix on July 14th was released this week. We also got some images from the upcoming Silent Hill game, although they've allegedly leaked, so there's no real validity to them as of this point, but they're interesting to look at. We got some game delays. Once again, pretty big game delays this week. Also, Sony announced some of the games that will be available on their PlayStation Plus premium services. And lastly, Wata Games has a class action lawsuit filed against it this week. And now lastly, Fall Guys is going to be free to play in next month. So CB, I don't even have to ask, but which story would you like to talk about?
That revenge against Wata?
Yeah, I kind of assumed that's what you wanted to talk about.
Oh man, I saw this coming, and I'm so glad that it's happening.
Now, before you get into it, just give a 15-second explanation of what Wata is.
I was about to ask. Because I have no clue.
A corrupt organization.
Okay.
So WADA is a company that you can send your games to and they will grade them.
Okay.
But I hate them.
Which is funny because we saw them at the Midwest Gaming Classic and nobody was at their booth.
Because we all do, and it's funny because most like retro game collectors have seen this coming for a while. And it's funny because the person who like made the huge announcement about this class action lawsuit was at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Yeah. Pat the NES punk.
We actually met him.
Yep, met him.
I've met Pat before.
I like Pat. He can rub some people the wrong way, but he's a interesting character. But
so what is WADA being accused of then?
So this was filed by multiple customers of WADA.
Mm-hmm.
They're being accused of inflating the market for games, misleading customers, and racketeering. At this time, it's unsure how far this is going to go, but it seems like there's going to be like a lot of delays and everything. One of the reasons why a lot of people are so upset about this is because WADA, for the longest time, would not release a population report. So, for
what do you
those
mean
that
by
don't,
a population report?
So any grading company out there, specifically, this started back in the 80s with coin grading.
Mm-hmm. Same guy, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the people who was responsible for the giant coin grading boom and bust in the 80s just happens to sit on the board of WADA's directors.
Oh, and that's interesting.
So, yeah, like, this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out because WADA, one of the reasons they go to some shows is they will go around and buy a product at shows and then grade them and then sell them on their own website, which they openly say they are not allowed to do because it artificially drives prices.
So they broke their own rules.
Oh, yeah, multiple times.
I mean, so it's not illegal to do that. It's just their own rules that they've broken.
It is a little illegal.
How so? I mean, they buy something and then they turn around and sell it to somebody else for more.
It's essentially insider trading if there's no population report.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because you could have, like, say, 100 copies of something that are all graded at a certain level, and then, like, oh, look, we're this is the only one currently in the world that we're selling. Better buy it now. That one sells. Put another one out. And that's the problem is because without that population report, they can sit here and say like, oh, there's only one of this in the world. Not to mention, if they're selling it, they're the ones that graded this thing. So it may not have been like a perfect grade.
Gotcha.
So
and just for the listener's sake too, CB and I did an entire episode on Patreon on this whole grading process and some of the skeezy things that they're doing. Do you think that this is going to go anywhere though? Because from what I read, it feels like the bigger focus is going to be on how long it's taking them to get these games graded and returning them to people. Like it's taking months and months and months to get stuff back, which, you know, they claim they'll do it in like a certain number of weeks and they're not.
If this actually goes to court, which I have a feeling it will, there's going to be a lot more that comes out about everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems that the easier route to get to court was like they're saying that they're lying about getting things done on time.
Right.
So once you can actually drag them into court, because one of the actual owner of WADA Games currently does not like answer emails.
Oh.
So they're very hush hush on what they do. Yeah.
So just, you know, all signs point to something nefarious.
All signs point to there being like a massive problem.
So the big question I have then with all this, does this mean that the price of games will start coming down in the near future?
Well, I mean, do you buy graded games?
No, but I would say that the prices of even ungraded games have gone up significantly in the last couple of years.
I have a feeling that this is going to because, well, yes and no, because part of the reason why game prices are going up on rare games is you have companies like WADA, VGC, and other grading companies that are buying up these rare games, slabbing them which is essentially putting them in these plastic containers and then selling them for outrageous prices.
Mm-hmm.
So that everybody's like, oh man, look, I can turn a quick buck if I buy this and get it graded. So until you see game grading kind of take a back burner, I don't see game prices dropping.
I'm so close, man. I'm like 44 away from completing an NES collection.
You
I feel
can
like
do it. Just do it.
I've already got like side jobs lined up this summer. Apparently, I've got a garage. I'm going to be scraping, priming, and painting, and getting paid.
I got some landscaping, man. I'll pay you to do.
Let's do it. Alyssa, which story would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about the Resident Evil movie coming to Netflix.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I will watch it because I've watched every Resident Evil movie to date. And I don't mind that they've butchered the story. They're entertaining in a B-movie way to me.
I enjoyed the very first one a little bit, even though it just strayed so far away from it. But like once it started just getting more action movie instead of horror, I gave up after like the third one, I think.
Yeah, I've watched them all, but the thing is my parents love these movies because they have never played the games. And they didn't know they were video games. So to them, they're just action movies.
Gotcha.
So I kind of just view them as their own separate entity, kind of. I just have fun with it. But
That's awesome. I'm glad you can do that.
I will definitely check the Netflix movie out, and I like that Lance Reddick is in it because he's a cool actor.
He's got such a recognizable voice.
I know. It's so soothing in a way.
I know. But, but soothing, but
menacing at the same time.
Menacing is a great word to say, yeah. I just hear silence now after playing.
Yeah, I was going to say silence.
Yeah.
He comes to mind.
I don't know. I don't really understand what they're doing with this story. Like the little dancing mascot or whatever, the video 3D mascot is creepy. And so they want to put out this product, but it also contains the T virus. Is this like a whole new story for Resident Evil? Like,
I believe so.
Just like a reboot. They're not going on any of the original canon. They're just kind of starting it all over.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I mean, I have more faith in this than Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh my goodness. Remember how excited we were for that movie?
Yeah.
Like,
and then they complete and that's why I have not watched this trailer. I refuse to watch this trailer.
Okay.
Because then I can completely walk into this and be like, I have no idea what to expect.
All right, CB, when this comes out on July 14th, let's watch it together. It's more fun. That way, if it's bad, we can enjoy making fun of it.
Oh, we will consume adult beverages and critique this movie. You know what? We should stream it.
We could do that.
We could stream our live reaction to this.
We could. We need to do more streaming this summer. Oh boy, I don't really know which. I feel like we have to talk about the delays, because that's all that Twitter's been talking about this week. A couple games for Xbox have been delayed: Arcane's Redfall and Bethesda's Starfield, which is pretty huge. That's pretty big. And here's the quote that was posted on Twitter: "We've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams at Arcane Austin and Bethesda Game Studios have incredible ambitions for the games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support." End quote. Now, the first question I have, and I feel really stupid for asking this, I have no idea what Redfall is.
Isn't it a battle royale type of game?
Okay.
Where they're vampires?
Yeah. That was that.
Yeah.
That was that one that like Bethesda closed their show out with.
Show. Yep,
yeah.
I do remember.
And we're like,
now.
Who asked for this, and why do we want this?
So I'm okay with that. Obviously, I'm excited about Starfield, even though I really don't know what that game is at this point. We still just really don't know much about it. But did anybody think it was coming out this year?
No. But here's the thing. Todd Howard has already said it's Skyrim in space.
That's all you need to tell us, really.
Boom. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And with ambitious as this project seems, I'm not surprised by a delay.
No.
And it's funny because the first person to attack this entire thing was all the Sony fanboys.
Yeah, I mean, there are Xbox fanboys that are upset, saying that they've basically lost $60 in value from their Game Pass subscription for the year. Now that they have to wait. I wish you guys could all see the look on Chris's face.
Oh no! We've lost one game for this year.
I mean, what else is coming this year? I mean, to play devil's advocate, what else brand new? Like, there's not another Halo. Okay. There's not a.
To be perfectly fair, how much money does Game Pass cost for a year?
I don't know, what, $15 a month times.
Less than 120 bucks. I'd say what? Less than 120 bucks.
$180 a year. So basically 3 $60 games.
If you buy the ultimate version, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean,
currently can't you still get it for like $10?
That's a good. I should know this, Chris. I am on a video game podcast.
Yeah, well,
so
I'm pretty sure somebody else pays for the Game Pass.
Yeah, shut up. Doesn't the Ultimate come with PC and Xbox Live, or?
Yeah, well, which is $14.99 a month,
right? So I mean, I want Xbox Live, so I'm going to pay the extra $5. So,
but that's for Xbox PC and Live.
Okay, so conservatively, $120 a month. If you're just looking
$120 a month, jeez.
I'm sorry, $120 a year. Excuse me.
Yeah, so we'll say somewhere around $120 a year. Well, let's see. Didn't we get a Halo game
this year? Was it this year? Yeah, it came out in January.
Yeah,
no, it came out in November, December.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, MLB The Show 2022.
Okay,
$70 game if you would have bought it on PlayStation. So already they only need to make up $50 worth of value.
If you like MLB The Show,
but they put out enough content on that I would. You know what? I don't even care at this point, because really I would rather see Bethesda put the extra time and work into Starfield to make sure that it's going to be great.
Dude, you don't have to convince me. I have no problem waiting for Starfield. I am so knee deep in so many different games that I just never have time to finish. And that's one that when that comes out, I'm going to devote to Starfield if it is what they're promising.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't God of War just get delayed too?
It did.
So why are all those Sony fanboys attacking? Like,
because they're not paying us.
Your big release this year too just got delayed.
I mean, at this point, well, I mean, what's the answer? I mean, is the answer as simple as don't give release dates unless you're 100% certain?
I've been saying that for years.
I mean, I don't work for a studio, so I don't know all the working. It's got to be so messy and so hard, and you know, the crunch culture thing is in the news all the time right now. So they're trying to avoid that kind of thing. I get it.
Honestly, I think they should just be like, hey, guess what? It's going to come out hopefully this year. Like, launch window 2022. Don't give me quarters. Don't give me halves. Just say 2022.
Well, if they had done that, they would have been wrong still, because it's coming out in 2023.
Yeah.
They should say it comes out when it comes out.
Yeah. But I mean, a tentative launch window 2022.
Right.
Make sure to start putting tentative in front of it.
I imagine that they just get lambasted by press outlets all the time of like, well, give us a date. We need a date. And then they give them a date, and then they can't stick to the date. So it's all a big.
I mean, keep in mind, like our first like actual like seeing this game was last year at E3, and we saw a teaser trailer. Like I didn't even expect this game to be coming out until 2024, to be perfectly honest. So when they were like, oh, end of 2022, and I'm like, deal, I'm in.
I was with you. I didn't even think this was going to come out in 2023. We still haven't seen any gameplay.
It's true.
No. There has been some leaked photos, and I think that's part of the reason why.
No. There was at E3 they showed video of quote in-game engine stuff.
Oh no. There was some recent stuff that came out.
Okay. Well, I'm going to need you to share that with me because I want to see it.
They were like, they're like, oh my God, it doesn't look as crisp as Horizon's Forbidden West. And I'm like, Bethesda's games never look that crisp.
Yeah.
So clearly you've never played a Bethesda game before.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's not finished?
Yeah. But like that was the first like I'll have to find the article, but that was like their grab. Was they're like, Starfield is not as pretty as Horizon Forbidden West. And I'm like, if that's all you're going on, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if Zach were here, he would back me up and say, you don't care about what the games look like. How fun are they to play?
Yeah. Skyrim is not that pretty of a game.
No, it's not.
No, but that game is super fun to play.
It
Put
is.
200 hours into it.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 is, to be perfectly honest, Fallout 3 looks atrocious.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It didn't look terrible at launch. It didn't look great at launch, but it didn't.
It looks atrocious. When you actually look at the ground and it just looks like a turd. Like, but here's the thing. The story, the gameplay, everything else about that game, fun.
Yeah. That's all that matters, really. I also want to mention, we got to talk about the Sony PlayStation Plus premium service, which is not a Game Pass competitor, but it sure sounds like it.
They claim it is.
Do they? I don't think they have.
Remember they made that announcement. They're like, oh, this is our answer to Game Pass.
I don't think they did. Where did they say? That's been the whole thing, is that Sony's never said this is their answer. This is what the media and what people, gamers have
Sony
said.
did say that they're working on their answer to Game Pass, and it was going to be announced soon. And then, like, everybody was like, oh my God, this is going to be their answer to Game Pass. And then when they actually did announce it, they cut that from their announcement. They're like, hey, this is something.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still confused by the different tiers, so I don't know where these are included. It just seems so complicated, and I feel like that's going to be the biggest problem for this, is like, which tier do we get? But anyway, first party titles, this is only a few of them. Bloodborne, Returnal, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, including Miles Morales, Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, Days Gone, Infamous First and Second Light, Last of Us, Uncharted, many of the Uncharted games, and tons more. Third-party titles, Valhalla, Batman Arkham Knight, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil, The Division, lots more there. And then classic titles, Hot Shots Golf, Jumping Flash, Siphon Filter. Remember we talked about Siphon Filter a while ago? Tekken 2, Worms, Jak and Daxter games. And then they're also including PS3 games, which I didn't bother to list right now, but there's a lot on here. A lot more than I was expecting. How are you guys feeling about these lists?
I'm still going to sign up for it because I said I would. Because
I can't afford to go any higher than I'm already paying, so this doesn't really apply to me, I don't think. But I think it is cool that, newer titles are offered and older titles are offered.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't afford to go out on a higher tier, so...
Newish titles, which I'm happy about. Did you see the quote that they gave about why they won't put launch titles on there?
I did. I don't. I would have to paraphrase.
That made me mad.
Go ahead.
Here at Sony, we will not put launch titles on our subscription service because we feel that it would water down the games.
Water down the games, just like it is on Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, no, they're worried that if they were to put launch titles on, it would ruin the experience of the game.
Yeah, people paying less money for it would really ruin that experience.
I know.
I don't get it, but I'm happy to. I was really impressed with the list. I was not expecting the list to be that extensive.
Dude, it's a super solid list.
Mm-hmm.
I give them credit.
Yeah.
But again, these are all titles that Sony's like, hey, we haven't sold a copy of these in a while, so just throw them on the list, man. Somebody's going to pay us some money for some subscription stuff, and we're making some money rather than nothing.
There you go. Well, that's the week's news. Let's go ahead and move on. And before we get to the new games that we've been playing, I want to remind everybody about our Patreon page, where you can contribute monthly if you'd like to help us offset the costs here and also give back to the community with games that we purchase for review. Our website is patreon.com. That's not our website, but it is the way to get to our Patreon page is patreon.com/thegocast. And at different tiers, you can get different rewards as well. At the $3 a month level, you'll get an extra bonus episode on Patreon. And at the $5 tier, you'll get 2 bonus episodes. CB, what can everybody listen to right now?
Ooh, well, our Desert Island games with YouTuber Snugboy. We've got a few in the hopper that we're working on. I know our Sonic 2 movie spoiler cast Legacy with Kevin Honigford has been recorded. It's coming. Break the Seal, Max Payne 1 and 2. I'm actually probably going to try to sit down and play through those tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I do. And then we also will be doing a new series, I guess, kind of, called Trade Off, which is Scott and Kevin. They're going to be playing some games, basically to see who's better, the Blue Blur or a dude in a dress.
No, it's not really seeing who's better. I'm a big Zelda fan. Obviously, Kevin's a huge Sonic fan. I've never finished a Sonic game in my entire life, so he's actually currently playing through Link to the Past, and I'm playing through the original Sonic. I'm playing it on PC, but it is the original game. And I think I have to play through Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and he's got to finish Link to the Past at least. I don't know if it would be fair to make him finish 3 Zelda games and me 3 platforming games, but it's going to be a fun conversation because Kevin's a lot of fun to talk to. So, but anyway, if you'd like to check out any of those episodes or any of our past content, Break the Seal episodes, Legacy episodes, games that aren't for us, or Retro Outsider episodes, head over to patreon.com/thegocast, and your contribution will get you access right away. With that, let's go ahead and jump into the new games we've been playing. Zach is not here, so I will be reading through the games that he usually reads through. And of course, whenever Zach's not here, there's always a Japanese one that I have to read.
I'll read it if you want.
Umurangi.
You got it, Umurangi.
Umurangi Generation on Series X and Xbox One, May 17th. Outward coming to PS5 and Series X and S on May 17th. V Rising, a PC title, hitting that on May 17th. They Always Run. PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, May 19th. Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, coming to PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on May 19th. You'll hear Zach talk about that game next week. Nirvana Pilot Yume on Xbox One, May 20th. I see Alyssa nodding at me, so I must have pronounced that one correctly.
In approval, yes, he did.
All right.
He did pronounce it.
Cotton Fantasy, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a shmup. Very, very much a Japanese shmup.
I don't even know where to go with this, bro.
Yeah. PS4 and Switch on May 20th. And then lastly, Dolmen on PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, PC, May 20th. Alyssa, any of these you picking up?
I don't believe so. I do need to watch the trailer for Umurangi Generation and Cotton Fantasy, since you guys said it looks like a weird shmup.
Is that the one where they're like Japanese girls riding on brooms? Am I remembering that correctly?
I think so.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it, but it's been a hot minute since I've actually seen it.
I've been getting all kinds of press releases on that. Like, they're really marketing that game. So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song actually looks really interesting to me as well.
I'm intrigued to hear what Zach has to say about that. He's been on a vampire kick lately. Like,
I have as
crazy. Have you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, the big game that we're talking about this week is Evil Dead, which I know you're playing on Xbox, but it's available on other platforms as well. Boy, I mean, is this really just the Friday the 13th formula with an Evil Dead skin, or is there more to it here?
There's more to it.
Okay, can you explain?
There's a lot more to it.
Still 4-on-1, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because there is single player aspects to this game as well.
All right, I'm listening. Go on.
So, first off, Evil Dead. The moment this was announced at E3, like, Scott watched me jump out of my chair because I am a huge Ash fan. So yes, the primary mode for this game is 4-on-1. but it doesn't have to be just PC. It just doesn't have to be player. It could be 4 people versus PC.
Versus, you mean like AI?
The computer, yeah, versus an AI. So it's not the same as like Evolve or Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight.
From what I heard, the one person or AI that plays on their own is, instead of like, they almost act as like a dungeon master. Is that accurate?
Kind of, because you have different roles, like you have leader and warrior and like a healer class and all those.
Mm-hmm.
But so whereas like Dead by Daylight and Evolve, like they're actually, each one of the missions kind of tells a story.
Okay.
Whether it be Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness, the TV series, the comic series, like they've brought in a lot of different stuff from the franchise.
I've only seen the first movie.
Oh God, I want to hit you so hard right now.
And it was 20 years ago.
You need to leave.
I haven't seen the TV series, but I've seen the first 3 movies and the remake.
The TV series is so good. It's so good.
Summer movie marathon, Chris?
Deal. Anytime I can watch that, I'm in.
Okay.
But so unlike Friday the 13th, where it's essentially just survive and get out, this you have to go around a map, like a gigantic map, by the way. You have to go around, you have to collect map pieces, which will then lead you to the Kandarian dagger. For those of you who know the series will know what I'm talking about. And the Kandarian dagger will lead you to essentially the final boss of the level.
Mm-hmm. Is it a different boss for each level?
Kind of. So there's the boss that either the player or the PC plays, but in the end, you're trying to destroy the Necronomicon.
That's the book, right?
That's the book.
Yep.
So that's essentially the final level, because the book can fight back. Like it's essentially like it's opening a portal and summoning things at you.
So you already got to the final level of this game?
Well, each run is essentially like a whole level.
Okay.
So whether you're playing through 1, 2, 3, or 4, I've played through and beaten a couple already.
Okay.
So it's just really interesting because like it changes every time. So like
procedurally generated?
Yeah, it's procedurally generated. So like last map, the dagger was over here, but this map, it's like a complete opposite end.
Okay.
So yeah, the dagger can appear in different places. But like each level, like there's so much, because as you're going to like find the map pieces or the dagger, there's like basic like enemy units that are attacking you. And meanwhile, like the player or the PC, like primary unit is also hunting you. So you want to you can stay together as a team and try to accomplish all the objectives, or you can branch out and try to do them. But we know how that works in horror movies.
Right.
There's vehicles that you can hop in and like drive around the map. I'm actually kind of blown away about how big the map is. And like it is like genuinely creepy. So so you've seen the first one, right, Scott?
Yeah, but like I said, it's been 20 years. I remember a tree having its way with somebody, and
the trees exist, bro.
Yep.
Okay,
the trees exist in this game.
That tree scene hurt when I watched it.
As I was running through the forest, all of a sudden, like a tree literally like came to life and whooped my butt.
Oh, really? The other thing that stood out to me from the movie was Sam Raimi's use of camera. Like going through the woods, he would spin the camera as it would go through the woods. Which
I've watched how he does that camera shot, and it is insane.
I've heard that they actually use that, like when you play as the dungeon
as
master
the demon,
or whatever. That's how you move through the woods, which is just a really cool touch.
Yeah, it really is. Like I'm genuinely like I at first when I saw this, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be like a budget title. Also, keep in mind, this is not a budget title. This is a $60 game.
Okay. So I want to know how the gameplay works. I mean, is the gameplay still similar to Friday the 13th, or Outside of like, you know, I know you said that was just escape, whereas this one is you got to get the dagger and then get to a boss and kill the boss. So you're actually being more aggressive than defensive. But
yeah, like this is way more than just defensive. Like you need to be aggressive on this.
So how does it work as the one person?
I haven't played that side of it yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, because again, there's so much to do in this.
So is it just like randomly draws?
So you have to either pick that you're going to play as the demon, which when you say the dungeon master, like that's the demon,
right?
You have to choose to play as that, which I haven't got around to playing that yet because I'm having so much fun playing as Ash.
Gotcha.
But you can also play. There's the single player missions, which is essentially like you just try to do the same thing as the main mission as the main game, but you just try to solo it, and you can either do that against an AI or a person as well.
1-on-1. How does that work balancing wise? Because if it's doing 4-on-1, you know,
the demon, like the person who plays like the demon, doesn't get to spawn as many things.
Okay.
So it does balance it.
Interesting.
I've completed 2 of the solo missions now. There's 5 currently. And then I've won a few of the 4v1 matches, and I've also lost one.
Mm-hmm.
But it is if you get a bad team together, like if you're playing with randos, yeah, you can get your butt kicked.
So teamwork is essential.
But at the same time, I've also played with randos and we've won. So there's definitely a learning curve to it. I will report back next week because I'm going to try to get a few matches in as the demon and see like how hard it would be to beat or lose.
Well, Zach will be back next week, and I know he picked this up as well, so you guys can definitely bounce some ideas off each other.
Yeah, dude, I'm utterly loving it. Like they've definitely put some love into this game with the lore, and like even some of the other games like Regeneration, like the Dreamcast games and the PS2 and Xbox games, they've tied in some of those locations into this as well.
Oh wow.
So like it makes me really happy the fact that there's some love still in this franchise.
Nice. I like to hear it. So Evil Dead sounds like you're highly recommending it.
Yeah, and I know some of our other listeners, like Brian Lewis, has been playing this. He loves it. Some of my other friends here in town who are playing it, they love this as well.
Very cool.
So, Scott, you've been playing many Motorways on the Switch, and I watched the trailer for this game, and it just looks adorable. Is it relaxing? Because it looks like you're building roads and controlling traffic.
I don't know if relaxing is the right word. That's kind of what I wanted when I saw this trailer. And I know Nate, our producer, has been playing this on phone, I believe, and he highly recommended it, said it's addicting. It is not grabbing me nearly as much as it did him, but I still appreciate what it's doing. It's a game that works a lot better if you're using your finger to draw, which you can do on the Switch. That's where I'm playing it, and probably why it started on the phone, but or maybe PC if you're using a mouse. But basically, you're given a bunch of homes, that have cars parked in garages, and then you're given a bunch of destinations, like workplaces. But they're all different colored. So there are blue houses and blue destinations, yellow houses, yellow destinations, and so forth. And your job is to basically get cars from the homes to these destinations and back. And for each time that a new car reaches one of these destinations, you get a little pin. And it's just constantly running, constantly, this loop of traffic is going. And you basically draw your finger to connect roadways. You've got a limited number of road pieces that you can have in each stage. So it becomes a management game, and it gets hairy very quickly, very, very quickly. You start seeing traffic congestion, and your car suddenly can't get there. You don't have enough road, so you you wind up getting power-ups that you can use. Like you can create a stoplight, which will help uncongest some of the traffic, or maybe a roundabout, or maybe there's a river on your map and you need to cross it. There's a way to unlock bridges. But the fun thing is that you can just destroy roads whenever you want to, and just recreate. You destroy roads, and then it puts that available road back in your inventory, so to speak, so you can rebuild You just kind of like recreate on the fly. I'm finding this game more stressful than I wanted it to be.
I was gonna say, it sounds more stressful than relaxing to me. I almost said relaxful. That is not a word.
Yeah, I like it though. Relaxful sounds way better than relaxing. I feel like the game just ramps it up so quickly. I almost wish that it did, I don't know, a 3-star model where like you play a short level and try to earn 3 stars, and it just teaches you really little basic things. Because I'm not picking up on the patterns. I don't really feel like what to do next. Or sometimes I get to running and I'm earning points, and because the game will just keep spawning new homes and new destinations for you to make things more complicated as you go. And you basically just go and go and go until you just get overwhelmed and you're done. Let's like imagine like a Tetris type game where you just keep going and going and going, and then you're just going for the high score. I feel more satisfied when I complete a level. So that's just a complete personal thing. So, but it's very well made. It's really interesting just to see how the traffic just works on its own. You've got traffic going all over the place. You can build highways, so like almost like a bypass from one side of the map to the other to make it easier for your people or cars or whatever to, instead of working all the way through town, they just get on the interstate and they work and then they exit. You know what I mean? It's really cool, the stuff that they throw at you. I'm just the endless aspect of it isn't appealing to me personally, but I know that this would appeal to a lot of people because it's really cool to see what they've put together. So I'm on the fence in terms of recommending it. This is definitely one that fits with certain type of people. I'm not one of those people that it just super clicked with, but I'm going to keep playing at it and see if maybe I'm just missing something, or maybe I just really suck at it. So take that with a grain of salt, but it's really well put together. It's pretty easy to play. You just drag your finger, you select either a drawer or an eraser, you erase, you draw your maps, and I just wish I were better at it. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah,
totally fair.
It is.
So I'll have a full written review later on after I put some more time into it. But so far, I don't know. CB, I want to bring my Switch over so you can play it, because I feel like you're good at management type stuff, and I feel like you would do a better job of managing than I would. But I just want someone else's opinion to see if it's just truly not a game for me, because Nate loved it. Nate raved about it.
I will have to check this one out.
So again, that is Mini Motorways. I am playing it on Switch, but like I mentioned, you can also play it on phone. But it was recently ported to Switch, and I think it's a $15 title, and I think it's worth that money for the amount of content that's in it if you like the gameplay. There's lots of cities, and they just keep throwing more and more stuff at you. But so yeah, there you have it. All right. Want to remind everybody about places that you can follow our communities. We've got one at facebook.com/groups/the GoCast. We've got a couple new members over there, Gilbert Carrion and Renee Cardenas. Welcome to the Facebook community. We're very, very happy to have you and hope that you are enjoying the conversations. Also, our Discord server is live and thriving over at, the link is actually in the show notes. We've got a new member that I forgot to write his name down, but he's actually one of my students from several years ago. He actually found me on Discord and was super kind and nice to me, and said that he said not only did he love my class, but he said I was an inspiration. I just thought that was kind of cool. He was a very sweet kid. So I don't want to use his real name for obvious reasons, but he's in high school now, and it was really cool to hear from him. Also, if you get a moment, drop us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Wherever you listen to the show, we really do appreciate it. It helps us get the word out there. And also check out our website, thegamingoutsider.com. There you will find links to all of our episodes, and you will also find all of our written content, and we've got a lot of written content coming out in the near future. With that, let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. This week, we are talking about movie tie-ins in video games. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about licensed game themselves, but maybe like bonus content or DLC that is based on a film property that has no prior relation to the video game itself. This topic was inspired by the upcoming release of Top Gun Maverick. There's some content that's coming for Microsoft Flight Simulator. We knew that at E3, which I know CB is very excited for. And also, CB, did you notice that Top Gun Maverick is getting really good reviews?
Dude, I told you it's going to.
I'm really surprised. I kind of expected it with the delays.
It's been a sequel that's been in the works since like 1986, man.
I know, right? It's been a long time, but I'm going to be going. I'm actually going to see it with a bunch of friends. I'm getting my aviators and my volleyball and my dog tags. I'm looking forward to seeing this. But I really want to know how you guys feel about content like this in games. Do you enjoy it when developers take time to cross the streams like this, or do you think it takes away from the original content?
I personally think it could be fun. And even if I don't enjoy whatever movie they're promoting or TV show or what say you, I think it's fun for people that are fans, and oftentimes you don't have to engage with it if you don't want to. And right. I don't think it takes anything away from it. I think it's just a fun little extra that you can choose to dabble in if you want to or not.
Okay. CB, how about you?
I like it if it's done well.
Well, sure.
I mean,
yeah.
I like it when it's done terribly, man. When it's just awful, then I just don't want to play it. I can't wait to dive in and use it.
If it's good, man, I don't want to play it at all.
You know me, man. I love bad games and B movies.
There's no such thing.
I do enjoy B movies myself, so.
But yeah, I do love when they do it, or there's no sense in what I guess what I'm trying to get at is like when it's done well. Is nobody wants to see somebody like Freddy Krueger in a My Little Pony game.
True. That would give children nightmares.
I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but I know it's not going to happen. But as long as like thematically it's done right. I mean, there's times like if I'm playing a racing game, I don't want something that has nothing to do with racing just put in there.
Okay.
So, I mean, if it's like, oh, I'm playing Forza Horizon 5, but we're doing a Top Gun Legacy pack for it. Why?
Top Gun Legacy pack because of, the motorcycle, I guess you could say, maybe? Top Gun?
But how many motorcycles are in Forza games?
I don't know that I've ever seen a motorcycle in a Forza
There
game.
Isn't any.
I don't think I have, no.
That would be the excuse to bring it over, right?
But that's what I'm saying, like, there needs to be something to tie both properties together properly.
That's fair. I appreciate when they get weird and wacky, though, sometimes, too.
Yeah.
To a point, yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, and we're going to get into some specific examples here in a bit, but, somewhere it almost, like, slaps in the face of one of the original properties, gets a little weird.
Yeah.
I know Zach has issues with some of the stuff in Fortnite, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like would I rather that they put time and energy into just extra content that extends the story instead of doing something weird. I feel like it doesn't happen a ton, and I'm finding after when I tried to do some research for this topic, I found out that there wasn't nearly as much stuff as I was expecting there to be, and it was harder, which is probably why we didn't get as many responses. So, I don't have a problem with it. Like Alyssa said, it's not like you have to take part in it. My only concern is if it takes away from content that could be better, because doing these kinds of things costs money. You know what I mean? I guarantee you. Now, granted, Microsoft doesn't have. Microsoft has deep pockets; they can afford the licensing for Top Gun. And I'm not playing Microsoft Simulator either. I'm just using it as an example. But if I were a Microsoft Simulator fan like CB, and I didn't love Top Gun like he does, would I be more interested in them just doing more content of real life stuff? You know what I mean? Like maybe putting in some more money into environments and making things look more realistic. That's the only thing that I have. I'm using an example that really does not matter to me.
I'm actually willing to bet some of these, like the Top Gun one, I bet you didn't cost that much money.
Because it's advertising for the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's like close to the release date, those ones I could feel like they're like, hey, we'll promote your stuff in this. Just let us slap your name on it for a while and go about our way.
That's one thing I would really like to learn about how that works. with any entertainment. You know, when they in a movie, when they drop in like a bag of Doritos or something, what does it cost to have that bag of Doritos in there?
Usually it doesn't cost the movie a thing.
No. It would be the other way around. It would be like the Doritos people would pay to have their product, right?
Oh God, there was a documentary I watched about it. Like, the Marlboro truck that Superman gets thrown through. Like that was $1 million.
Wow.
Like it was something stupid like that.
And now we can't even advertise for cigarettes anymore.
It's true.
There's still ways that they do it. You can't advertise it on TV, but in movies they can.
I remember as a kid there were like cigarette billboards and stuff.
Cigarette billboards.
Joe Camel.
Now, see that's where you start crossing a line, because now you have something that's targeted towards kids.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have any problems with it. I feel like if I were more into, I mean, there's not a lot of games that I'm super into that get content like this. I'm aware of some of them, so it doesn't really bother me. I just, if they made I don't know why this hasn't happened in a Far Cry game, honestly. Like, I feel like there are so many Far Cry games.
It's funny you say that, because there is one.
Is there one? Is it Far Cry 6?
It is.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
It's fun. You know what? Perfect time to bring in a listener comment. Sean Coates writes in and says, just like CB, I come with a list. First and the most recent example is Stranger Things tie-in to Far Cry 6.
How did I miss that?
You trigger it like any side mission. You enter the upside-down version of Yara and must rescue Chorizo the dog, battling zombies and demogorgons along the way.
That sounds rad.
It's really cool, and after an intro cinematic, it cuts to the title screen where it says Far Cry 6, but in that red Stranger Things font, and it plays the show's theme.
Well, that's cool. All right.
Also, keeping with Far Cry 6, I laughed super hard at the mission where you must protect actor Danny Trejo, appearing as himself, from a crazy Yaran general who wants Trejo's tacos. Which, by the way, is a real restaurant chain he owns with locations all over LA. He often donates either food or proceeds to impoverished communities. Both this and Stranger Things missions are free DLCs and average 20 to 30 minutes in length.
Is that the second week in a row we've referenced Danny Trejo?
It is.
It's because Danny Trejo is a national treasure.
He's
just
getting
like
there.
Nicolas Cage. I'm going to finish out his comment real quick.
Sure.
Just because. Also, there was the Terminator tie-in for Gears 5, Terminator and RoboCop appearing in Mortal Kombat 11, which makes an actual throwback to RoboCop vs. Terminator on the Genesis and Super Nintendo. Added bonus, they brought back Peter Weller to voice RoboCop.
There you go.
Lastly,
that's another movie I need to go back and rewatch.
Dude, I just watched it last week. Chef's Kiss still holds up.
Are the others good? RoboCop 2 and 3?
2 is really solid. 3 is not.
Okay.
And then lastly, there was Zero Dark 30 tie-in mission to whatever Call of Duty game was newest at the time.
Zero Dark 30. Nice.
Yeah.
That was a good comment. I'll go ahead and read another one really quick. Riss Noble on Facebook said, I enjoyed the Reservoir Dogs heist in Payday 2. It was pretty fun. Same with the Scarface one, too. Man, Payday 2 was a game I played for like 2 days.
A week.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, but I just never felt the pull to go back. But Reservoir Dogs in that universe makes perfect sense. That's a really good call.
I don't tip.
Don't. That whole conversation is like the best part of the movie.
It is. So, we want to give some examples real quick?
Well, why don't we just go ahead and read through the comments again really quick?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Oh, I get this one. Do I say what's at the end?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Next up from Andrew Zek. The Terminator stuff in Gears fit really good. I'd play more Battlefront if you could play as Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Which, admittedly, I had no idea what he was talking about at first. And I was like, Andrew, what? And he actually sent us a clip from, there's an episode of Family Guy. That would have been Blue Harvest. That would have been something Dark Side, right?
Yeah.
And if you've not seen the Family Guy Star Wars spoof things, they're freaking hilarious. If you're a Star Wars fan and a Family Guy fan, they're no-brainers. But they're doing the conversation at the beginning where Luke is on a tauntaun and he sees the Imperial probe droid land off in the distance, and he's like, "Hello, buddy, do you read me?" And Han, as Peter, calls back and says, he basically says, "I told you my new nickname, my new call sign. You're supposed to use my new call sign." And he says, "Okay, do you read me, Carlos Spicy Wiener?" And it's just a throwaway line. But yeah, Andrew said he would play a lot more Battlefield if he could play as that character.
Yeah, I'd be in.
Yeah, Alyssa, you need to just get those, and they're really funny.
They're worth every
watch them.
minute.
They're very funny. I like all the characters from Family Guy are the characters from Star Wars. Like Stewie is Darth Vader, Chris is Luke.
But Meg doesn't show up till the third movie.
Who doesn't?
Meg.
Oh, isn't Meg Jabba?
No, Jabba is Joe.
Oh,
Meg
that's
is,
right.
Meg is the Sarlacc.
Oh no!
Because the joke on that show is that everyone says Meg is ugly, and so they made her. The
like that was the funny thing about it was with the first two movies, Meg makes no appearance.
Yeah,
and then it's just like, oh yeah, we forgot to add in Meg,
so we found a spot for her. Man, are those? I need to watch those again.
Yes, you do.
All right, we got one more comment. CB, why don't you take that last one, then we'll share our thoughts.
All right. From Thomas Bex. I guess it's quite enjoyable if you're a fan of extra content and if it's done well. Thanks, Thomas, for backing me up on that. It would most likely not get me to play a game I wasn't playing just because the tie-ins I might like. I love Marvel, but I'm not going to play Fortnite just to play Thanos.
That's a good question. I always wonder if those tie-ins are done for the people that already have the game or to get people to buy the game. Have you ever been...
I would say it's there for both. Like, you're going to try to rope in those few fans. But at the same time, like, I still have no drive to play Fortnite.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
Some of that, I feel like we've talked about this in the past, where like some of that stuff feels like a slap in the face, like putting an assault rifle in Batman's.
Oh God, yes, that still makes me angry.
Yeah, like
I will say there's a tie-in that's happening right now that I want to play the game for.
What's that?
Call of Duty and Godzilla.
Oh,
I want to play it so bad.
I want to know what that is. That is a bizarre.
I don't care.
Tie-in. Where you can play, so basically you're playing a Call of Duty game in the midst of a Godzilla
with kaiju. That's all I need in my life.
That sounds kind of rad.
I mean, are the other famous kaiju coming in, like Ghidorah and
I don't know.
Mothra? That'd be really cool.
That's why I gotta play this just to find out. Because some of the screenshots, it almost looks like that's what's going on in the background. So you're like fighting on the streets as this is happening.
Yeah, so you're not necessarily fighting Godzilla, you're just fighting a war while Godzilla is wreaking havoc. Which
I'm completely okay with.
Yeah. I'd be kind of curious. Which Call of Duty is it? Like, is it...
I think it's Warzone.
I thought Warzone was just...
The Warzone is the Battle Royale.
Right. So it's just a theme of the Battle Royale with Godzilla in the background. Okay.
Which, I mean, to be perfectly honest, like, how funny would that be to, like, you have, like, a mixed skirmish little battle, and all of a sudden, like, Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla just, like, steps down.
I know.
Oh, look, Godzilla took out 20 people at once. Haha.
That would be kind of cool. I wonder if you're doing that, would people flock towards it or away from it? Like, if I were...
Well, I'm willing to bet that's what is...
the ring.
Making the ring... is like, if you're out there, you'll go and get stomped.
Oh, that makes it a little bit more interesting. Okay.
So,
that might get me to go back and play Warzone.
To be perfectly honest, I'm probably going to download it tonight.
Yeah.
Because I want to find out what this is all about, because my love for the big man himself.
Sure. Well, let's go through some of our favorite movie tie-ins with video games. Let's start with you. What did you come up with?
Well, in Forza Horizon 4, when it first launched, they had James Bond vehicles from the films available to unlock throughout the game.
Nice.
You didn't have to pay real money. You could earn money in the game and be able to purchase the vehicles. in game, which was cool. I haven't seen all of the James Bond movies, but the cars are pretty snazzy, I do have to say.
I still haven't seen the last one.
I haven't either.
Ooh.
I haven't seen Skyfall, Spectre, or this last one.
Casino Royale?
That just sent chills up my spine.
I love Casino Royale.
Skyfall is so good.
I need to watch it. I don't know why I'm
completely
sitting on
skip
it.
Quantum of Much Ass.
I did actually watch that one.
I didn't like that one very much.
No, but Skyfall to me is hands down one of the best. Spectre's okay. The newest one, No Time to Die, it's pretty solid, but Skyfall is still where it's at.
I love Casino Royale. Mads Mikkelsen as the villain was
Oh, I love that.
great. And I grew up with Brosnan. So like to me, Brosnan is being the first Bond that I watched as a kid. To me, he is James Bond, even though I know that Connery and came before him. Still never seen a Connery Bond movie. I need to remedy that too.
You are not allowed in my house anymore.
I've only seen Daniel Craig Bond movies, and I've only seen 2 of them.
Ugh. You
I'm
both
shameful.
make me so sad.
I know. I'm sorry, CP.
Oh, the scene in Casino Royale with a chair.
So cool. And Vesper Lind is just such a good.
You need a moment.
You really
there, Alyssa?
need to watch Skyfall.
Yeah, because Vesper Lind is still in there, right?
Spoilers, bro.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Way to
My
go
bad.
there.
I
Okay.
forgot what happened in Casino Royale, so sue me. Sorry, Alyssa. Anyway, what else
okay.
you got, Alyssa? But I could go put my foot in my mouth.
Well, Dead by Daylight is known for bringing in classic horror movie characters like Sadako from The Ring, Ghostface from Scream, Michael Myers from Halloween, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Cenobite from Hellraiser, which I think is pretty cool.
That's cool. I've never played Dead by Daylight, but I do.
I've never played it either, but I've watched people play it.
Pretty good.
It's very entertaining to watch people play it.
I've played a few matches, and it is a solid game.
Nice.
It just the creepy horror elements are phenomenal.
Cool. Any others, Alyssa?
I did mention the Gears 5 Terminator Dark Fate crossover that several of the listeners mentioned, but also having Dave Bautista as a Marcus Phoenix skin in that game. Didn't really impact much, but he was in there if you wanted to play as him.
How did I miss that? Dave Bautista as
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Phoenix?
Yeah.
Man, I played Gears 5 at launch, played through it, and then never touched it again.
Yeah.
CB, what about you? What's on your list?
Oh, man. Well, first off, as I said earlier, Kaiju and Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla. He's everywhere. Mortal Kombat X has my favorite character of all time, the Xenomorph from Alien.
How do you fight an alien hand-to-hand combat?
You don't. You die.
Oh, boy.
Mortal Kombat has had a ton. Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, the Predator. There, and it's funny because not only is the Predator there, but for Jax, there is a bonus costume where he could play as Carl Weathers.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, that feels really good. I wish they could have got the likeness rights for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Was he pushing too many pencils?
Oh, God. Dude, you know how funny that would have been if that was like a bonus thing? If you had Jax as Carl Weathers and like Johnny Cage as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the fight, they just come up and do the handshake. I'd be like, done. I'm so done with this game.
Or if they had him as Carl Weathers and then like one of his finishing moves was doing something with a pencil. And
even better.
Yeah.
Because
got you pushing too many pencils?
only certain people would get that joke.
Yeah. That's like the iconic line to me. They even use that like fist bump or that cross arm things like as in memes now. Like, we believe this, we believe this, we believe this together in the middle. It's good.
Because it's the best. Here's gonna be a deep cut for you.
All right.
In Tony Hawk Underground,
You can play as Spider-Man.
No, there's a deeper cut.
Okay.
Which, the developers of the game, after my own heart, there's a random manhole that if you go over it, a chud comes out.
You mean from It?
No. There's a movie. There's an 80s B-movie series called Chud, Cannibalistic Human Underground Dwellers.
I have never heard of this.
I've never seen it, but I've seen the cover for it.
Yep, and it even got a sequel, Chud 2.
Wasn't that the name of the thing in the Stephen King's It?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't just making that up. Okay.
Well, because look at the time frame that Stephen King's It is. It's the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie was semi-popular in the 80s. But
Chud
if you go over
was?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
You live a sheltered life during that time frame.
So what is a chud?
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
I sound like I'm swearing whenever I say it. I don't know why.
I know.
That's if you look up the poster, you'll see the.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look up the poster, you'll see. But if you go over that manhole, like one of them pops out. So
just like for a brief moment.
Yep, just for a brief second. Tony Hawk's Underground 2 has Shrek.
Shrek.
What? Like you ride as Shrek?
You could ride as Shrek, man. Like again, rando. Also in Mortal Kombat 11, you had John Rambo.
Hey, I had Rambo in one of mine too. Rambo also showed up in Call of Duty, along with John McClane. Both were playable characters.
See, honestly, like I'm surprised with all the tie-ins that are starting to appear. Why can't like Fox or like somebody just put out a game where we can have like all these different movie stars? Like, give us that battle royale or fighting game.
So the Expendables battle royale.
Essentially,
yeah,
but you could tie in a few other things.
Hasn't been a game at this point.
I'm honestly surprised too, because paying for likeness rights is going to be a nightmare.
That's probably why we haven't. All right, you out? You got any more?
Oh no, I'll let you take the point from here.
Okay, so the low hanging fruit. I already said John McClane and Rambo, but Soul Calibur 2. If you remember, Soul Calibur 2 had like 3 different versions of the game on Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, and each one had a special character. One was from Spawn, or one was Spawn. One was Yoda, and the Nintendo one had Link, but that's not a movie tie-in. But in some of the later Soul Calibur games, Darth Vader and Yoda also appeared, so I can't imagine how expensive that would be today. Could you imagine Yoda and Darth Vader just showing up in a random fighting game? No way.
Disney wouldn't let it happen.
No, probably not.
Unless Disney was putting out the game themselves.
Right. And the last one I've got is, again, it also feels like low-hanging fruit, but I had a lot of fun with the Rocket League car skins that you could get, where they had, I still, whenever I play Rocket League, I only play with the DeLorean. Only play the DeLorean. They get the sounds sound just like it. Whenever you blow up, it does the little fire trails of the tires, and then it has a little out-of-time license plate that spins, which makes, getting exploded not nearly as
It's funny because I only play as Ecto 1.
Oh, really?
Because when you get the gold, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man comes out.
That's so cool.
Awesome. They've also got, I know it's not a film, but Kit from Knight Rider is also available, and then you can also pick up the Batmobile if that's your thing. So that's those are fun ones. So for games like that, I feel like a lot of these movie tie-ins are multiplayer games, whether it be a fighting game or racing games. Wasn't there a Fast and the Furious one for one of the Forza games?
I believe so.
Yeah, there was also Fast and the Furious for Rocket League as well.
Was there really? Okay. Oh yeah, they had the little Charger, the little Charger, the muscle car that he drove. But no, I think the Fast and the Furious Forza one was like a standalone game, was it not? Like you didn't even have to own the game.
No, it was a download pack.
Was it?
For one of them.
I could have swore that was like its own thing, but anyway, that was a fun topic. I think we had a good time with that. So next week, I'm actually going to be sitting out next week, so it will be Zach, CB, and Alyssa on the episode. We are still working out the details as to what that topic is going to be, so stay tuned to Facebook, Twitter, and Discord for what that topic is going to be. I'm sure they'll be picking a good one, and then I'll be back the following week for sure. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. CB, any parting words or recommendations for the listeners before we get on out of here?
Legos are amazing. That's all I got to say.
At some point this week, I was coming close to like, dude, are you doing anything but Legos right now? Like I just keep getting pictures of all these Lego things that you're building. I'm a little jealous.
Well, the problem is I was so tired, I didn't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And so
I'm picturing you laying on your back with like Legos on your chest, just like putting together.
No, I have a wood TV tray.
Oh, nice.
And so I just like dumped it out onto the wood TV tray, and I was just sitting there watching TV and building Legos.
Nice. Alyssa, what about you?
I've been watching this mini series on Hulu. It's only 5 episodes, and it stars Jessica Biel. It's called Candy, based on a true story. But I'd never heard the story really before watching this, so I don't know which parts are dramatized. They do say some of it is dramatized, and I would expect so. But it's about a woman named Candy who supposedly murdered her best friend. And the series is just going on about why she did it. It pretty much leans one way in its viewpoint.
Oh, okay.
And I do need to research the actual case to see what really happened. But it's really fascinating, and Jessica Biel is wonderful in this. And I haven't really seen her in anything in a while.
But I didn't know she was still around. I mean, not that I thought she was dead. I don't remember seeing her in anything in quite a long time. Is that the one where she's got like a really curly hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also
these
got
big
the
glasses.
Woman. It's also got the woman from 2.5 Men.
Melanie Linsky.
Yes. Yeah.
Pablo Schreiber's in it as well.
Oh, really? Okay. I know. Whenever I reference that, what's her name again?
Melanie Linsky.
Whenever I reference her, I always have to do 2.5 Men because I feel like nobody else has ever seen Detroit Rock City, which is where I know her from. CB, I assume you have.
I still haven't seen that movie.
You haven't seen Detroit Rock City? Okay, we're gonna do a double feature. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do
all the Evil Dead.
Oh man, we're gonna watch so many movies this summer. But Detroit Rock City's great. It's so stupid.
God, what was the other one? It was you hadn't seen Evil Dead. And what was the others?
Sean Connery.
Oh, and any Sean Connery Bond film.
Yeah. So we got a lot of movie watching to do this summer.
All just bringing it back for me, other than Detroit Rock City.
It's hard to find movies that you haven't seen, dude.
Yeah, that is true.
I have a book recommendation, and I say recommendation in quotes because I'm not sure if I'm going to really convince anybody to read this book, but I actually picked up a nonfiction book, not having anything to do with video games, but it is an enlightening experience. The book is called A Framework for Understanding Poverty, a Cognitive Approach by Ruby Payne. She's a PhD. I was recommended this book by a coworker of mine, and I'm only about halfway through it. It's only like a 5 or 6 hour listen on Audible. But, man, I'm finding it really interesting to just kind of learn about the different classes that we've got in our country. You know, lower class, middle class, wealthy class. And it's really kind of given me a perspective of other cultures and lifestyles in a way that I was not expecting. That, man, I almost want to finish the book and have somebody else finish the book and then have a discussion about it, because I have so many thoughts about it, and I feel like my thoughts, rightly so, don't matter as much because of, white, straight male. But there are some things that I find myself wanting to argue with and challenge. But I want to have an open discussion with somebody from the other side. And but it's really interesting. The woman really gives a good perspective. The only funny thing that I will say, one of the things that they talk about in this book is different registers that different classes have. Like there's a lower class register, there's a middle class register, and there's a wealthy class register. And so they'll talk about how stories are told differently in different classes. So like in the middle class, traditionally, they'll tell a story from beginning to end. Beginning, middle, and end. But in other cultures, they'll tell the climax of the story first, and then kind of back up and tell details and have audience participation, which I found fascinating, and I'm kind of seeing that outlined in my class. But since it's an audiobook, they're doing examples of this. Like they'll tell the story of Cinderella, and they'll tell the story. This is how the story is told, and then they'll have the story told in a lower, in a poverty-stricken household, like how they would tell it. But it's almost like it's very obviously a white guy reading this story that's not in poverty and reading it as if someone that were. So that throws me off a little bit because it just sounds very off. But anyway, don't let that turn you away from the book. If you kind of want to get enlightened on what other cultures are like, and not necessarily, I don't mean cultures in other countries per se, but in different classes. As much as we might like to say we don't have classes, we do have classes, and I'm finding it very interesting. So there you go. That's going to do it for this episode. Like I said, thank you so much for listening. Would like to remind you once again that The Gaming Outsider is produced by Nate Lucas, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. And I got to give a shout out to Grant. Grant actually came via Google Meets or whatever we used, and talked to my class this week in their music class about being a professional musician. He played some music for them and answered a bunch of questions, and may have inspired one of my students to go back and actually pick up the guitar and try it again. So it was really, really cool, and I really and he seemed to have a good time with it as well. So please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Chris Behrensmeyer and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.